Welcome to the capital of Ireland in 2026, a country running budget surpluses, yet more than 17,000 people are officially homeless, including thousands of children. Families trapped in hotel rooms for months, workers sleeping in cars after full shifts. Emergency accommodation is overflowing, services are overwhelmed, people are dying on the streets without ever securing a permanent home. Walk through parts of Dublin and you'll see it. Tents, addiction, rising street disorder. This isn't just bad luck, this is policy failure, and it's unfolding in plain sight. So what's really going on? How did it get this bad? And what does it actually look like on the ground? Let's take a closer look.
Right, so I'm with these lads here, and these basically, you're a group of friends, right?
Just a group of friends, yeah.
And you're running this, it's basically you're giving out food to people on the streets of Dublin.
Yep.
And you've been in Dublin now yourself for how long?
Me, nearly 30 years.
Nearly 30 years. So you have experienced, I suppose, the slow or rapid, I guess many people will say it's rapid decline of the streets of Dublin.
Very rapid.
There's a lot of people that are in very bad situations.
Especially in the past 5 years.
Past 5 years.
We set this up just after the lockdown started in 2020. We've been going ever since, every Saturday.
Yep.
So every Saturday, 12:30 to 1 o'clock, we set up there and we just do what we can for them, you know, because at the time when they started the lockdowns, these people had nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
There wasn't even people on the streets they could beg from.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't allowed to go into McDonald's to use toilets. It was disgraceful. It was disgraceful order on the government's behalf, you know.
Yes, 100%. And the weather as well. The weather as well this time of the year is absolutely horrible, right?
It is, yeah.
So a lot of rain.
And as you can see, my partner's there. She's handing out clothes, all clean, washed and ironed, by the way.
Nice. That's brilliant.
Food parcels we do.
When
we find out some of our homeless friends are having a birthday, we give them.
Yeah.
Just to cheer them up a bit, you know.
Oh yeah, 100%. So in your opinion now, since about 2019, 2020, that's when things have really started rapidly accelerating.
It really went bad.
So a lot of the stuff during the lockdowns, obviously, it destroyed a lot of people's mental health, and you can see that here. A lot of it's happened in my family as well, and it's just horrible to see. And I think the numbers,
even the normal people who had things together, it affected their heads. So you can only. It's very hard to imagine how these homeless people felt, you know?
100%.
It was disgraceful.
Yeah. Do you guys have a name, the organisation? Do you have a name for it?
We're just the Garden of Remembrance Volunteers.
Brilliant.
Are you collecting food or funding somehow?
We fund it ourselves out of our own pockets.
Like somebody wanted to give
if someone wants to give, they're more than welcome, you know, but we don't actually go out and fundraise because we don't want any backlash from anyone else saying we're not using the funds properly. So if we fund it out of our own pockets, no one can come tell me how I can feed my children, you know, so they can't tell me how I can share my food with my friends.
So if somebody wanted to get involved, just show up on Saturdays here at the Garden of Remembrance.
Just come along, bring if you want to bring some food to donate or bring some clothes to donate, it'd be lovely to anybody out there that wants to help. It would be greatly appreciated by the homeless community.
Is it every Saturday at this time?
Every Saturday between 12:30 and 2 o'clock we're here.
Brilliant. How many people usually do you see come and go on the Saturdays? Is it usually about...
me and my missus, we do the washing up, and we know we wash between 60 and 70 plates.
Every
and that's
Saturday.
without all the... We do piles of... You've arrived here, it's all gone.
Yeah.
But there was piles of sandwiches, all sorts of stuff.
Brilliant. Crisps, everything.
Crisps, everything. We do what we can.
Unbelievable. Fair play to you.
It just gives them that little bit of
hope,
you know, just a little bit of something. Where they might not be getting it.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Some of them have hostels, but they don't get fed in the hostels, most of them.
Yeah, and I've heard as well that a lot of the hostels and stuff like that, they're pretty sketchy places sometimes as well. A lot of shady stuff happens there. And
it's not like the hostels. I don't know if you ever knew hostels back in the day, but the hostels of today are. You go in at night, you get a bed in a dormitory, in the morning you're gone.
You're gone, yeah.
You can't knock it because otherwise they'll be on the streets.
Exactly.
Which is really bad.
And you find that a lot of the people that you meet, a lot of the people that you meet, a lot of times they're just looking to be humanised. They just want conversation, and it's even more than a lot of the times they just want. Because people will say, they're just abusing or they're doing anything to get the next hit or anything like that. A lot of times it's just. You just need to humanise the people and have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
What you're doing here is really, really nice to see. because I've seen it myself. I left here in 2021 during the lockdowns, so it's me and my partner's first time back here in 4 years, and I just can't believe what it looks like. It's a different world. Even in just four years, it's so sad. Yeah. I really appreciate your time, though.
No, you're welcome.
And
you're welcome.
If people do want to support
thanks
us,
for highlighting it. Thank you very much for
that's what we're hoping to do.
And if anyone's out there and they want to pop down on a Saturday afternoon and give us a little dig out, donate some food or volunteer or do a little clothing collection in your area, bring them in. We distribute them here on the Saturdays. See that everyone, a lot of people all leaving with full bags.
Oh yeah,
full bags. Give them something to eat in the afternoon, some snacks.
These are the types of things that are going to help people survive. A lot of times, especially this time of the year, because of the weather, you have people dying on the streets. It's a very regular occurrence now, believe it or not, in Dublin. So, yeah, these guys they're doing God's work at the moment, and it's great to see it.
Thanks for saying that.
Thanks so much.
We are doing God's work.
Yeah, 100%.
We're all good Christians.
Yep. A garden of remembrance as well. Yeah, same with myself.
Always have.
Yeah.
Keeps me safe.
Thanks a million for chatting.
You're welcome, brother.
Thanks, man. How long have you been sleeping rough? Yeah. A few years.
Yeah, on and off.
How do you feel like you're being looked after by the Irish government?
No. They do nothing for you.
They do nothing for you?
No.
You feel like you dropped your hat there.
Yeah, I can't put it back. They look out for foreign people. They don't look out their own people.
So you think the Irish people are being put last place? Is that right?
Yeah, well, it's second citizens.
Second class citizens.
Yeah.
Do you feel safe on the streets?
Well,
at all?
Some people do. I don't. I do, yeah, but other people don't. You know what I mean? I've never been robbed and nothing like that, but other people have been.
What's the story with hostels and stuff like that? Are the hostels sketchy? The hostels are worse?
Yeah, it wouldn't be going in there.
It's nearly better to be in a tent, is it?
Yeah, better out on the street than in there. Too bad, you know what I mean, buddy?
And the numbers are going up every year as well.
Yeah, there's more people homeless, and a girl only died the other day, Tasha, what they call it, thing. I won't say her second name. Right outside the, what they call it, the police station on the other side.
She passed away, didn't she?
She died in a tent. Died right outside the guard station. Yeah.
Unreal.
Mad, isn't it? Like, and he didn't even hear it on the news or nothing.
Yeah, they wouldn't even publish it on the news, no.
No, but if there was somebody else to be on it all over the patchy.
So right now we're outside of Pearse Street Garda Station. As you can see, there's mountains of garbage and other stuff, and this is actually the place where Natasha, around 40 years old, a woman, is found dead inside of a tent, sleeping rough. And that is the current state of what's going on here. 6 people dead actually in the last 10 days, 2 of which are completely unidentified, so no one even knows who they are. That tells you everything that you need to know about the situation here in Dublin at the moment. If this continues to happen, it's untold how many people are going to end up losing their lives on the streets of this city. And this is not the picture that's being painted to everyone. When it comes to Ireland, when it comes to Irish tourism, you're being sold the Cliffs of Moher and Carroll's gift shop and Riverdance. But the reality is far, far from that. The people of Ireland are struggling. The young people of Ireland, the youth of Ireland are struggling big time, and the Irish government are to blame. The migrants that are coming in here, they're not to blame. It's the government. The source of it is the government cashing in on the destruction of this country.
So some of the hostels around here, by the way, they used to be proper sort of tourist hostels, backpacker hostel type of a situation, but now a lot of them are actually used for housing asylum seekers. It would be really interesting to see if they still have like an online listing where you can book yourself a room. I really hope not. I assume not, but I'm gonna have a look. I actually just looked it up, just the hostel that we walked past there. You can actually still book yourself into a room in that hostel, so it's kind of a mix of, I suppose, asylum seekers, homeless people that accidentally booked a room in that hostel. And now it's just a mix of people in one beautiful hostel.
It's a lovely hostel as well, yeah. It's a lovely hostel, to stay there myself. There's 2 Roma, just stood there smart as shit. 2 Muslim girls at the back started screaming, pickpocket. They were robbing this 80-year-old woman who was sitting beside me. They were robbing her pocket, her
Robbing
bag.
her, yeah. 80-year-old woman.
Yeah. I shouted them off the bus. And they were just kind of going like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I got photos of them and put them online. It says, you know, watch out for the pickpockets. But they're rampant. The pickpocketing in Dublin is rampant.
Yeah.
In particular on the Dart or the Lewis. Because you're so condensed. You can't feel or getting on and off buses or getting on and off. But
It's like a tin of sardines. You're all pressed together.
and you wouldn't feel a hand in your pocket
Yeah, yeah,
until
yeah.
you're off. I saw a guy. I was on a Lewis, and I was watching this gang.
Yeah,
One of them was stood beside him, eyeing up his iPhone,
yeah.
and I was trying to nod to him and pretend he was my granddad. And I was going, "Granddad, how's it going?" And he was looking at me, going, "What?" I knew she was going to rob the phone.
Yeah,
Right behind me was a gang that were overlooking her now. She was into her substances.
yeah.
As soon as her hand touches that phone, no one is going to stop that. Nobody,
yeah.
you know, because that's them done for the day, sorted for the day. So he got robbed in front of me, and there was nothing I could do. And there would have been. They're all carrying knives. These people.
Yeah, of course.
To get caught then, or if you were to catch them, you'd get knifed before you'd get your camera back. And it's rampant. Halfpenny Bridge, but in particular getting on and off transport is just outrageous. That lane is pretty
Laneway looks
outrageous.
mad sketchy.
I think there's somebody selling drugs.
So right now, guys, we're on Moore Street.
He's down there with
This street,
her cars and
throughout history here in Dublin, was filled with fruit vendors, vegetable vendors,
down there.
local Irish people. A lot of times they're women selling things like flowers, and it's always usually sort of like the central buzz, and this is where like the real sort of pulse of the city centre is. Nowadays, at the moment, in 2026, things are very, very different. We haven't been here now in 4 years, and in that short space of time, things have very drastically changed. There's literally mamashi, the pride of African cuisine, and every single store here is non-Irish. Phone shops that are run by Chinese, Indians, non-native Irish people. This entire street has quite literally just done a 180-degree flip from being a charming marketplace to something very, very different. Where's the food you're selling? What country is it coming from? Nigeria. Nice. Tasty food?
Very tasty.
Good? Yeah?
Very tasty.
Oh, nice. They're nice people, but it's basically slap bang in the middle of, you would probably remember, right, Moore Street growing up.
Buying fireworks.
But this is a place where, yeah, you'd buy fireworks for Halloween. Usually it would be filled with Irish vendors, like typically a lot of women selling things like fruit and flowers, and
But they're all closing down now.
they're all closed right now. They're actually probably, a lot of them are permanently closed, isn't that right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
completely changed.
This whole street is, look, Oriental, African, Polish, chopsticks.
Yeah.
These are all
Asian phone shops.
and black hair braiding kind of thing. Asian spices,
Yeah.
Japanese,
Brazilian
Italian.
Brazilian churro
But this
like
was,
tent.
this is very historic. Look, this is 1916. Up here, this is part of the Rising.
Literally part of the Irish Rising, the 1916 Rising right here.
The 1876 building, and then we're going to knock that down and make an arch. But this whole street in particular at night is just extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
But
You'd say it's kind of almost like a no-go spot at night time.
yeah, oh, absolutely. On the left here, you see the Roma gypsies, and they just rob everything.
There they are now.
There's a group of Romas outside of the deals here.
Not necessarily Romanians, to be
They're
clear.
not. No, they're not.
There is a clarification.
It's
to be
very
made.
different. Yeah.
But what happens is they steal from deals, and they steal in bulk one product,
Yeah.
and they can fill their skirts, absolutely fill their skirts full of the one product, and the kids can.
Yeah.
They sell them to Indian companies who have no direct connection with the company that sells the product, and they sell them in bulk.
Yeah.
So these guys, these are Roma as well here. These are the gang bosses.
Yeah.
You can tell the main gang boss.
These lads up ahead here.
the main boss will have a huge crucifix, very visible in the centre of his chest, and he'll be in charge of these guys.
Okay. So it's quite literally like organised petty crime. And this has been a thing that's been happening in Dublin for a long time, especially around here. But now more than ever, it's very visible. Like, they do it right in front of your face. No one cares. And the police do absolutely nothing because they're already overwhelmed like the rest of the services here in Dublin. And this here is the portal that's actually really famous here in Dublin. And you can look into other cities. And it's basically like an ongoing live stream that goes between multiple different cities at once, and Dublin being one of them. It's currently live streaming over to Vilnius, of all the places, in Lithuania. But just be careful when you come here. If you're standing around, a lot of tourists will come here and stand around. A lot of people use this as an opportunity to pickpocket the tourists. So please watch yourself. If you're going to come here and stare at this or do anything in front of it, make sure to check around your surroundings, because a lot of times people from Roma communities and other types of people will come and try and reach into the pockets of a lot of the tourists specifically, because they know that they're carrying cash usually for things like tours and stuff like that.
That actually, it looks like bullet holes.
It is, yeah, but the bikes.
Thank you so much. God bless you, yes.
Who do you trust to give your sins? Who do you trust to give your sins?
Jesus.
Hallelujah. God bless you.
Who else?
So, folks, this is Nikita. She's very close to my heart. She's helped me out when I was in a bit of a tricky situation in Dublin with some dealers. I had some heavy camera equipment, and Nikita stood in and kind of went, "This is Bog Trotter, he's okay," and and I've known her since. And she's stuck in this loop where, other than not being able to get housing, you can't access treatment immediately from the streets. There could be a 7 or 8 week wait, in which case people on certain substances, it has to be on the spot. I've made the decision, I'm up to do it now. To have to wait 7 weeks, you'll have changed your mind, because or you will. I think you'd agree. You'd change your mind, or you could have, or you could have. It needs to. You need a good, quick access. Also, these guys on the street don't have access to caseworkers, other than people who come around sometimes with sleeping bags, but they don't have dedicated caseworkers. I was a caseworker, but I can't. I'm not in that field anymore, so I can't help in that way. But it would appear that things are further on the up for Nikita. Isn't that right, Nikita?
It is indeed. It is. I am so happy.
Yeah.
I'm going into treatment very soon. I will have a date at the end of this week.
Wow. Amazing. Congratulations.
So happy for you.
That's really great news.
I'm delighted I'm over the moon.
Yeah. How long has it been now that you've actually been on the streets for?
Altogether, on and off, I'm homeless on the streets 22 years.
22 years.
That's on and off.
On and off. Okay. And do you have family?
I
do.
do.
You have children yourself?
I have one boy and 2 girls. My
one boy, 2 girls.
Boy, he's 22.
22.
I have a 20-year-old daughter and I have a 10-year-old daughter.
And what's the situation? I don't want you. What's the situation with them? Are they all right? Are they?
They're actually good. They're at a good age, as you know, and thank God my family have them.
Yeah,
that
nice.
I'm blessed.
How do you feel Dublin? I'm asking a lot of people this, and I feel like everyone has the same answer at the moment. What direction do you feel that Dublin is going in the last 10 years? Do you feel it's getting worse on the streets?
It's getting really, really worse.
Do you feel like it's gotten less safe for you? Have you had any trouble on the street?
I've had a little bit of trouble, like kids pushing their friends in on top of me and me tent,
right.
And a man came to me tent the other day with a glass bottle and smashed it. And he had a yard shovel as well, and he was going around baiting it off the poles and baiting it off everything. So that was a scary
situation to be in
for me. Normally, as you heard, Bog, I have a lot of respect on the streets.
Yeah.
And normally they
people know to stay away from you.
Leave me alone or not do anything to me. But this was a travelling man, and there was just no talking to him.
Yeah.
So I just went in, zipped my tent back up, and just let him go instead of causing.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, keep the peace.
And you were saying that you're kind of stuck in this vicious circle.
It's like a loop.
You know, substance abuse, or maybe being on the street trying to find treatment, but then kind of going in and out of this circle.
Well,
from what I understood,
at the start of the year, last year, I was kind of like, and I'll be out straight with you. I was kind of happy to use substances, and I didn't think I would have made it to treatment. Yeah. But just a couple of months before Christmas, a new person started coming around and walking around like he works for the homeless.
Yeah.
And he gave me a different outlook on life. Nice. And it changed my mind straight away.
Gave you some hope.
I put my name down for treatment, and at the minute now I'll go for this.
Oh, happy days.
So happy to
So you feel like there's a new sense of hope in your life now?
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Do you think that the government, the Irish government, has done much to help you over the years?
Should be brought out and shot, and that's being honest with you. And I'm not racist whatsoever in one bit, but look, yes,
they're putting the Irish people last, aren't they?
They are.
Every person that we're seeing on the streets is Irish. Every person that we come across at the moment is Irish. And then we go down to different areas like Gardiner Street and where some of maybe the iPass centres are, and it's full of foreigners. They all have beautiful hotel rooms. They're all in very nice places. They all have brand new iPhones. Some of them have houses. So how does that like? Do people talk about this much on the street?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it ticks us all off, but they're all putting it down to the government. Don't block over it. They're all putting it down to the government, but we can't get them because they're in them, you know. So.
And the government keeps saying that they're building these new places, and then they're just filling them with
foreign people, yes.
Not Irish people.
No, even Conor McGregor done it.
Conor McGregor did it as well.
I know, it was video recorded.
Here's something I'm gathering from your photographs that I saw. So what you're coming out with now, people could go, they're racist. But do you have a half-caste child?
I have a mixed race child. She is half Nigerian, so I am far from racist. Yeah. I just like my Irish people.
Hey! And just to touch on another thing, a very important thing and a really sad thing as well, is the deaths on the streets. Literally over the last 10 days or so, there's been how many people that have died?
In the last 10 days, there has been 6 people found taken out of tents. There is currently only 4 that we all know about, but there is 6 bodies. 2 are actually they haven't been claimed yet. So they don't know who they are or what. And there was a 40-year-old man taken from a tent in the Phoenix Park. There was a man found over in Thomas Street. There was a 40-year-old lady taken out of a tent at Store Street, Garda Station. And then there was also a young lady, taken from Pear Street out of the tent.
That was Natasha, wasn't it?
Smith,
yeah. And she was only around 40 as well, isn't that right?
She was indeed. It is sad because
it's heartbreaking.
It's just, some of them are dying of the cold. They're not dying of drugs or anything. Like, my tents were taken away by the corporation. I come back and my 2 tents were gone with everything in it, all my belongings. You know, I had to go and tap €40 to go and buy a new tent. Just
to get a new tent?
Because they won't give, like Brother Luke's only gives 1 tent. Most of the other places are actually stopping.
It's crazy.
There was a guy on the streets as well that he had the only because they're taking the tents, everything in them, or else just spilling the stuff on the road and taking the tents. The guy had the only photograph he had of his mother who passed was in that tent, and that was taken away by the DCC. They pull up in these red vans and they sit around waiting until people leave the tent, and then boom, they come out, they take the tent.
If somebody says something against it, like for example, if another homeless person comes and defends your property, they're like, don't touch it, or what do the people say? Like,
okay, so my friend came along and they were taking the tents away, and he rang me and he said, I know the girl that owns this. He said, Nikita, do you need anything out of it? And the guard and the two corporation men told him, you don't I know you cut it out. You don't go near that tent. You can't touch nothing inside it. Yeah. And he actually said, look, you have a home to go to. She doesn't. That's all her stuff. And he said, well, it's all going in the bin, and literally up into the bin, and that was it. So, yeah, everything.
Yeah, they wouldn't let
how do you justify that as like the council here? How do you?
You can't.
I don't know. Maybe you have insights because you have
what strikes me
is it for cleaning purposes or like
what strikes because they say everyone's using inside them. What strikes me is that the asylum seekers can go once a day and get a new tent. I won't mention where. They can get a new tent and a new sleeping bag, right? But the Irish can't do that. Not, like as Nikita just said, she had to tap money to buy herself a tent because they stopped in the place down the road, we'll call it, giving tents to the Irish, which is just absolutely scandalous.
And that place that is giving the tents and all of that out, is that an NGO or is that like a city council thing?
It's a charity.
It's a charity. All right. Okay.
And they've stopped.
Then you know
they stopped giving it to Irish people.
She couldn't get a tent. She had to buy her own.
She had to sleep at that doorway. The elections around. The elections around. Because the corporation took our tent.
No. 2 seconds. Now, why my tents were taken pinpoint was somebody broke into it the night before. Well, not broke into it, but got into it. And unfortunately, they took all my stuff out and left it all around. And they also left dirty syringes around.
Oh, no.
So, mainly, that was one of the reasons why. But I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So,
they tried to say that you were using it. Or?
They could have even waited until I come back. But no, so that is a little bit of a reason why they were taken.
Right.
Nikita wouldn't use she doesn't use
no.
it.
8.5 years clean off them needles and off heroin, and very soon I'll be clean off everything.
Hey.
Good on you.
It will.
Of course it will.
Because you know why? Because I'll fucking make it happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Lovely to meet you.
You too.
So lovely to meet you. And you go away.
Do you guys need a tea or coffee or something?
I'd love it.
So guys, we're here at Liberty Soup Run, and this place here is it's an organisation that's run by a local working man by the name of Chris. And we're actually on Thomas Street right now, and the Liberty Soup Run is operating here at the moment, and they actually go in this van, it's a Liberty Soup Run van, all over the city to help the homeless of Ireland. I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear me, guys, because it's absolutely lashing rain, heavy rain. It's freezing cold on the streets of Dublin right now as well. But all of these homeless people are coming out here. It's not even that busy at the moment, but there's a couple hundred homeless that are here. They're getting food, and there's donations and everything else alongside of it. And this is basically completely run, self-funded through charitable donations, clothing and everything else. Right guys, so I'm here with Chris, the man himself. He's the guy who's running the operation here at Liberty Soup Run. And how many years have you guys been operating on the streets of Dublin?
We're up and running, I think, close to 8 years now.
Close to 8 years?
Yeah.
So,
8 years.
You guys are completely self-funded, is that right?
Self-funded, yeah. It's all public donations,
Public donations.
Yeah, all self-funded.
And you're getting a lot of help off people. I see that you have bags full of stuff over there.
Yeah,
people
so look,
sending in
people
jackets.
have been just incredible. I don't know what it is about Dublin and the people in Dublin, they just like giving, you know. I was over Liverpool the weekend, and you know, just talking to other guys from experience over there, you don't get as much as the Irish would give, you know. And I don't know what it is about Ireland, you just have a heritage of giving, I think.
Community.
And community, like, we never want for nothing. Anything we want for the homeless we get, you know, through social media, doing a post and sharing it, and
brilliant.
Here we are, yeah.
And you guys are on the streets how many days a week is it?
So we used to be 7 days a week, but due to full-time jobs and tiredness and everything else, we're down to 5 days a week now.
Okay.
So we operate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and Saturday and Sunday we are still doing bits and pieces, running around collecting stuff. And
do you have an idea of an average of how many people that you see every night? Like, is it hundreds? Is it how many people are you serving? There's no way of really guessing.
There's no way of really guessing it, you know. I think Gary gave us an estimate there. I think it was in 6 months or something. We have plastic bags, so these white plastic bags.
Yep.
Gary done a count, and I think in a couple of months it was over 6,000 bags we gave out.
Oh wow!
So in a couple of months, yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing serious work.
Yeah, you could go out in the van, you could see 10 people. One, you go out in the van, you could see 100 people.
Yeah.
All depends, you know.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about is obviously in the last sort of 2 weeks, there's been a huge spike in deaths on the street. People passing away. It's heartbreaking. Like, I think actually in the last 2 weeks, there's probably been it's almost close to 10 people I think that's passed away on the streets. And have you, like, we were over on Pierce Street there yesterday speaking to some of the people that are sleeping rough, and they were willing to talk to us, and it's unbelievable. Like, you had Natasha, she was over just outside Pierce Street Garda Station. She was only around 40 years old, so it's the reality of the streets of Dublin at the moment. And
do you know what, it's heartbreaking, because you know what, these are human beings falling in hard times, and most of these guys just need a chance in life, you know, and some of them don't get that chance. Some of them pass away, some of them are still here, you know, and that's how important soup kitchens are like this. Volunteers, without all of these guys, you'd see the work that's been done here tonight by the volunteers. All free, no, like, never moan, not a whinge out of them, stand in the soaking rain just to save them guys, because we want to try to save their lives, and that's what we're trying to do, and we are doing that, but unfortunately we lose lovely people. We knew Natasha very well. We two other people, a guy we knew from lived in England, who's living over here a while, found between a load of bins there 2 weeks ago. It wasn't even on the news, you know. It's just for the forgotten people, you know.
Do you feel like the Irish government is doing enough to handle the situation on the streets? No. Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. You know, there's over 17,000 homeless in Ireland. It's not a big amount for a rich country that we are. And again, it's not about the homeless crisis. We've lots of people in addiction. What we need is more resources, more rehabs, more drop-in centres, more detox centres. You know, and we do have a homeless crisis as well. We have over 5,000 children living in emergency accommodation.
Yep.
So it works both ways. We need detoxes and we need housing, definitely.
Yeah.
But the government are not doing enough in my eyes now.
Yeah, that's exactly the message that we're trying to get across here, guys, is that the Irish government is just slacking in every department of it. They say that they're building new places, but the places are not really going towards the Irish people, unfortunately. So it results in situations like this. But thank God there's people like Chris that are doing the work that they're doing.
Look,
because
these guys,
and all of these volunteers as well.
I just run it, these guys do all the work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, without them we'd be lost.
This man is the brains, exactly.
Yeah.
The volunteers. By the way, guys, if you are watching this, because a lot of people are going to be watching it from Ireland, reach out to him and actually come along and volunteer. And as he said as well, everything is done through donations. So everything that goes towards this is going to go straight towards this. So please reach out to him, donate as much as you can. He's standing out here. All the rest of the volunteers are out here, freezing cold, lashing rain, but it has to be done. They still show up even though they're working full-time jobs. So it's amazing work what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having the chat. The big cross here in the Garden of Remembrance to remind everyone Christ is the King of Ireland, always will be.